What's going on, everyone? In this episode, we're going to give our live review, our reaction of Attack on Titan Season 1. The very first season. I personally finished the very first season of Attack on Titans. It took me quite some time, really, just to binge through that whole material. But I just, got a lot of questions. I got a lot of things that's just running through my mind. I got Big Jinx here. You might have seen him from the last previous video where we did with the Kudama Drive review. He's up to date. All right, he's all the way up at season 4? It is season 4 right now. So he knows what's going on. But I wanted to bring him down from the top down perspective to just really kind of recap, to be like, what was going through his mind during this? Did some of those questions get answered? All the while not saying any spoilers with the following season. So I've got my eyes looking at him. Like, I'm making sure like none of that's gonna go down during this. But really just to start off, just to give a recap of everything, for the folks that are just stumbling along this, Attack on Titans, a series where I'm gonna feel weird saying a recap because what I know might be wrong in the future. But the Titans are attacking the city, the last known area where humans live at, and they busted through one of the walls and forced our main protagonist Eren to join the military to fight back and defend his hometown, the Titans. But then a hidden element just gets introduced out of nowhere, and now his whole world done changed. So throughout the whole first season, we're joining his journey where he really goes through the military process. He's in boot camp to his whole transformation, figuratively and literally, and the interactions between the characters, his father, his mother, and really just towards the end when he's facing other Titans all together, man. So the questions that really popped up in my head was like, where are the Titans coming from? Why are there certain human characters? Why are they on the side of the Titans? Like, what's in that damn basement?
What's in the box?
What's in the basement? Like, it's so many questions that just drum in my head, man. What's your thoughts, man? What do you think of
What I really love about this series is that there's just so many levels to it. After it's like mystery on top of mystery on top of mystery. What's in the basement? Where are the Titans coming from? Who was the female Titan? I mean, and then what is with the Levi squad? All of that. It was just, it was for a first season, and mind you, watching the first season, I didn't know anything about Attack on Titan. I didn't read the manga. I have since, at least part of the manga. I haven't read the whole thing, but I didn't know anything about it. It got big reviews before it even came out. So off rip, episode 1 hit hard. I knew it was a smash box, like, from the jump. And that shit had me excited, man.
Man, I'll tell you, when I first started watching, first of all, I was reluctant because I don't like watching animes that have thousands of hundreds upon episodes. I was burned with Detective Conan. I was really hoping when my boy finally turned into a human, I was like, man, he gonna turn into a human one day, 20 years later. Like, the man's still a little kid. Like, if you add up all the episodes, like, he got the Simpsons complex where the kids don't grow up. And I'm just like, yo, I can't watch these shows. That's the only reason why I couldn't watch Naruto. I know it ended. I know it's like into the second part with Shippuden and all that. And then Bleach, the same thing. Bleach took a very long time to end. And now the latest on the tracker, One Piece, I heard nothing but great things about it. But I can't get behind that. Like, it doesn't end. It doesn't have an ending to it. I need things to consolidate. And I'm hearing that the 4th season is like the very end strict of Attack on Titan. So now I'm kind of like, okay, I think I'm on board with this. I'm feeling a bit comfortable with watching this. But I just think like the real gravitating aspect of this show is really just the amount of questions that you have. Like, they feed you bite sizes at a time. Like, they don't, like, I mentioned it in some of my reactions. I don't know if you've seen them, but some of my reactions were literally, we would spend our time, one episode entirely in like the interrogation room. one episode entirely in the attorney's office, one episode entirely in the boot camp. Literally, Aaron is trying to get into the 360 device the entire episode. That's it. And it's just like in some other animes, like let's just say, I hate to say it off the top of my head, like Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball had an episode where Goku was training the entire episode. He'd fall asleep. You'd be like, all right, that's cool, but like I need some layers to it. But they managed to add the perfect amount of layers every episode to just keep you biting, but at the same time they give you little hints into what the questions that you had before. I feel like every episode or so they give you a hint on something. Where you catch it or not is up to you, and I think that's what really kind of just keeps you biting forward. And every time you bite forward, they introduce a new mystery. So just kind of like you said, you're like, who's the female Titan? What about the basement? Oh, we're gonna go find out what's in the basement. Let's just go right back and see. Oh, hold on, we got another mystery for you to solve. Here's a brand new thing. Now when he bites himself, he can't transform. And I'm like, he bit himself. He can't transform no more. What's going on? Is it the spoon? Does he need something metal to transform? Wait. He needs an image to know how to transform. Like, what is going on, man? When you were watching the series, like, what was like the number one question that just kind of just threw you off? Like, what is the answer? Am I gonna get it? Like, did anything frustrate?
I think it was the basement.
Like, what's your thoughts, man?
Because it got mentioned right after the wall got destroyed. You saw this image of Aaron and his dad wrestling, and his dad's yelling at him, and it was like a dark image of something happening to Aaron, and then it just got completely forgotten until the end of season 1. But then like the whole time I'm like, all right, all this is going down, but in the back of my mind I was like, whatever happened to the basement? Did it just get forgotten? Because some animes do that, right? They'll forget that key aspect, move on to a new story or new topic.
They do.
And then you're like, well, wait a minute. What just happened? What happened to the thing that I really want to know about? So I think it was frustrating because I thought they forgot about the basement part, which was really good seeing it at the end kind of coming back up. But I think that was the biggest question throughout the whole series was, all right, what's in the basement? What is this basement? So that for me had to be the most frustrating mystery during the first season, was just wondering. I mean, on top of the who the female Titan is, but that didn't come in until towards the end of the series. I mean, end of the season. But yeah, the basement was the one that was playing in the back of my head. I couldn't let it go.
So who was your guess for the female Titan? Who do you
honestly?
think
I had no idea. I honestly, I was like, because when I first saw the Titan coming, you think it's a normal Titan, something special about this Titan because it's coming. But I honestly, I didn't have any ideas. So I ran through a few of my ideas where it wasn't until they started showing the fights, basically, that I started thinking about who this Titan was. Up until that point, it was really like, all right, this is just some opposition. We'll find out who she is later. Then it was like, oh, this person knows how to use the gear. Wait a minute. And then things started coming through my mind like, okay, wait, I got to think about this. And then the revelation kind of comes.
Yeah. Did you already know that it was a human controlling that Titan, or
it wasn't? It was the fight with Armin. Like when the female Titan first started and came, you found out quickly that it was a human in there. The only thing was that you didn't know if it was someone you knew, the enemy who's just hiding, or whether or not it's just some other opposition. Because remember, like for me, it was like, all right, so this land is vast. Nobody's explored outside of it. And the people who went outside, obviously they were getting attacked by these other Titans. So where are the Titans coming from? So for me, it was just like, it's an enemy outside the wall. I never in my mind would have thought, which was a great twist on it, for a person who didn't read the manga and didn't know the story, to find out like, oh man, it might be somebody actually in the corpse. What? What? Oh, okay. Oh, we going that route with it, So it was exciting. It was exciting to see the female Titan. But yeah, once Aaron, no, it was Armin. Once Armin fought the Titan, and you can kind of see how the Titan was actually reacting and interacting. You're like, okay, this, okay. You're like, this is like Eren. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I gotta ask. So, well, we're not really ask, but more like I want to make sure we shift into this portion. Unlike, when we were talking about a Kudama Drive, which really didn't have this aspect of character development, I think we wouldn't be doing this justice unless you spoke about the character development in this show. So, I mean, I'm just gonna start naming off a few, like with really just starting with the relationship between Eren and Mikasa. So like at face value, when you're first watching this anime, man, you instantly think it's gonna be like your typical shonen anime, where he's a love interest, well she's a love interest, and, they end up falling in love and all that stuff. But it was at a certain point when I was like, it's actually a little bit deeper than that. They actually added a twist. They got me. They pulled my leg, where it's just more like to Mikasa, Eren is the reason why she goes on for living. Like it's deeper than just a regular loved one. Like literally, if Eren doesn't exist, she has no reason to live, because she had her life saved and really drove her to continue living. Versus, I'm in love with you kind of thing. And then I think it's interesting because the people from outside think, oh well, she's in love and all that stuff. But I think it's literally, legitimately just that. Like he is her driving factor to live on, and she's really passionate about protecting him, because if she loses him, she can go on with life. She has nothing left to live for.
And I feel like you're spot on with that, right? You can't dismiss that, you feel like there's some sort of extra bond there, but at the end of the day, it just feels like Mikasa is Eren's protector. And you're the relationship between Mikasa, because it wasn't made clear until the story of Mikasa came out later in the episodes, but I thought they were brother and sister. And then there had to be like brother or sister, or like some kind of cousin, some kind of family.
Yeah,
and then like comes out that family kind of took her in. So you're like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And that she felt a sense of gratitude. So then the relationship kind of made sense. She wanted to be that protector, that kind of big sister figure, because all the kids were scared of her. Mikasa knew how to mess you up. She knew how to fight. Eren was a little jit. He got his ass kicked a lot, but he tried, So, I mean, it's just like throughout the series, though, you see that Mikasa is Eren's protector. And you don't really you didn't understand why until a little bit more of her story came out later in the season. And then it kind of like clicked for you, like, oh, okay, this makes sense. All right, I see what's going on and why she's so attached to this family.
I want to make sure I didn't forget this man's name, Armin. So Armin, towards the beginning, I'll be straight up, I couldn't stand Armin at the beginning. I can't stand when a protagonist it has that whiny trope where he's like, he feels like he can't do anything. And I'm just like, I know from previous animes that I watched, at some point he's gonna twist around and he's gonna end up being like this badass person and all this stuff. It's just a matter of when. But I like the journey that they're kind of giving, and he has the clairvoyance, the tactical aspect. Like people in higher positions are kind of going to him for that knowledge, and it's within reason. Because in some animes, when they go to the clairvoyance character who knows it all and strategizes, like they seem to get it out of thin air. But his is like really in detail, kind of like Detective Conan, ironically, where he really pieces things all together, and he's like, you know what, I think we should do this, and here's X, Y, and Z, Y. So he's kind of like painting the picture. I think the biggest moment of that was when he explaining. I almost feel like they're kind of breaking the fourth wall when they explain this about the female Titan. But when he's explaining, this is the female Titan. I knew he was a female Titan the whole time, and here's the plan to capture her, to make sure that she doesn't go on destroying the city. Like I thought that was really thorough and planned out. If that was another anime, it would just been like, I knew it the whole time, and here's the plan to get you. and it would have been it. But he actually inferred about the clues, and they really painted a picture. And I think they're really doing a good job protecting this character and really kind of just making sure that he isn't the trope of I know everything, but I have this knowledge, and I'm going to be confident in it.
Armin, I think, had the biggest character development out of everybody. Now I'm looking back on the season, and I'm like, yeah, out of everybody, Armin was the one with the biggest character development, because he started out as that nerdy kid. You saw him getting beat up in the street. You're like, all right, I get it. He's the wimpy one. Everybody feels he got to be protected. He might be the smart guy, and he was. But then it became how smart, and how does he use the intelligence? And when he started figuring out the stuff about the Titan, the female Titan, when they were going through the woods and stuff, I was like, oh, okay, my man's a strategist. He's in there. So his role became, it went from a minor role, honestly, as a minor side character, to actually a big protagonist in the show. And I mean, when I talk about how I didn't really notice Armin until the woods, he literally escaped my mind. Like, he was just some little jit on the side. I didn't really care about his character. Yeah, he had the same kind of feelings as Eren. He was his best friend, blah blah blah. But he became his own character to me. As soon as they hit the woods, as soon as he was figuring out who the female Titan was, or what the female Titan was going after, I was like, okay, he's gonna be your man. He's gonna be your in the game of chess, he's gonna be your knight. Well, real more so your castle, your rook. But anyways, but he's gonna be a pivotal role. He's gonna play a pivotal role, and that's what actually did happen.
So, we tackled the main three, and I feel like we can literally just name every single character in the show. So probably the best way to do it is the characters that just spot out. I mean, we got Erwin, we got Levi, Potato Girl, aka Sasha. I just
the damn
love
potato that he
Girl.
ate.
I don't know why. And then we got like Petra and the rest of the Levi squad. Like, what characters really just I guess we can say the supporting cast. What characters really just stick out to you the most, and like really
it had to be
help
definitely Sasha was one of the main ones, because she was just your funny one. Like, out of nowhere, she came on the scene mad disrespectful to the trainer.
Yo, she was eating that potato. She's like, "What you doing?"
She came on the scene mad disrespectful. Everybody's just like, "Who is this?" You know your star. You could feel a different kind of feel when every time Levi came onto the scene, I was out of my chair. I was like, "Oh, that's my dude. That's my dog, bro."
Yes, and I heard about the OVA with Levi. I gotta watch it.
I've seen it. I saw it, and it's good, man. It's good. And I think one of the interesting characters who I didn't really think much about until like I really started reviewing like the episodes again was Erwin, the commander. He was surprising. I still haven't figured him out. You still haven't figured him out, but at the same time though, you feel a presence from him, like that commanding kind of role, because he's the one who Levi follows. And you're like, a person like Levi, who's your main, your main person, your main cutter, follows this man. So that's his second. Levi's a second. He's a commander for a reason. So Commander Erwin was definitely an awesome character. And the last one that caught my eye is Commander Pixie. That bald-headed dude, that bald-headed bastard. Like, when he was playing, I guess he was playing chess with with one of the nobles, and he was like, letting him win and stuff like that, and he kind of put him in check. I just was like, that's a cold brother. I was like, he's just cold, bro. And so it would have to be Sasha, Levi, Erwin, and Commander Pixie. Those are the ones that like really stood out to me.
Man, so I mean, you pretty much nailed it on the head from top to bottom. In that, Erwin, there was an episode. So I realized between the Japanese version and the English version, I imagine there's not too much difference between the dub and sub, but they have two different titles between the episodes of dub and sub. I don't know if you noticed it, but I just recently noticed it that the English version and the Japanese version have different titles on the episodes. One of the episodes was dubbed Erwin Smith, and I was wondering why in the hell is this episode called Erwin Smith? He's in the episode for 2 minutes and the rest is not. And I'm just like, maybe they're feeding a clue here that's going to be in the future. Like in the back of my mind, it's like, is this man the armor titan that drove through the wall at the beginning of this anime? Is he the one who drove through the wall and he's trying to get these nobles to get on their butt? Because I swear, that's what it is. Because it makes sense. I see his hair and I see all this stuff. It's starting to add up. But that was the only clue. The only clue would be Erwin Smith. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. But either way, Erwin Smith is that dude. Levi, man, at first I was a little off by him. But I was like, this man, when they were to his rap sheet, they were like, 9 kills, 50 assists. 20 kills, 10 assists. 300 kills. 0. I was like, 300 kills?
What the rest of y'all?
What y'all was doing? He was out here Michael Jordan. Like, he was out here Michael Jordan. Then you count in the next episodes, 301, 302, 303. Like, he is that dude. And, like, literally, like, he has that knowledge, too. Like, when he's in the courtroom with Aaron and, like, he's doing those things on purpose just to, to get that favor. And then he literally, some characters just be like, hey, I did what I had to do. He wouldn't say anything to him, but he's like, hey, man, I just want to make sure that you don't hate me because I didn't do that out of hate or anything. I just did that because I want them to be on my side. I didn't want you to hate me or anything and let you know that, I want to be your friend. And I was like, dang, like, he came up to him like he's real genuine, like, because at first I thought he was being sarcastic, but then he was like dead serious, like, I just want to really make sure. And like later on when they're escaping the woods, and his soldiers like, "Man, you're just a coward. You don't want to go back for them. They don't mean nothing for you." And he has their pins the whole time. He's like, "Hey man, this what these people mean to me. I had these pins the whole time. I went back by myself and got these." While you over here crying about a body, I had these the whole time, solo. Like that man right there. If you don't have respect for Levi, I don't know what's wrong with you. I mean, and of course, Potato Girl, self-explanatory. The doctor, I feel like not the doctor. I can't remember her name right now, but she's the scientist that studies the Titans. I almost feel like she is. And feel free to interrupt me.
It's Hanj. It's like Hanj or Hanji.
Huh? Yeah, Hodge. Hanj, just like Hange. But anyway, Hanj, say Hanj. But anyway, I almost feel like she's like breaking the fourth wall continuously when it comes to Titans, because she's always like saying the questions that we're thinking, like why do Titans like this? Titan skins are hot and stuff like that. She's really inquisitive about what's going on with the Titans. I feel like she's like speaking directly to the audience, like, hey, this is the clue. This is how the Titans are. This is the information you want to know. This is, we want to find out more. We're giving you that information. But I just really like the supporting class. The supporting class of people, and then I just thinking about the people that died, and it kind of breaks my heart. Like I said, Petra hurt me deep, man. The way she died, she needed to die like that, man. They every time you like, man, Petra was a good character, man. She was like telling Aaron, like, man, things are gonna be okay, man. We here to protect you. We are squish. And like, then you got the fake deaths when the characters fake die. So Titans are out here squeezing and biting people, then they magically survive. But then you got the permadeath ones where they're just like, You like that character, didn't you?
That's that Walking Dead syndrome.
Yeah, we don't go take it away.
Oh, you like that? You thought you was gonna stay.
Oh, that is a whole different subject. But we already been on this for like 25 minutes, man. Let's wrap it up. Otherwise, we're gonna be talking into season 2, man. You got any final thoughts?
I mean, overall, as far as for me, as far as the first season goes, where it introduces the show, I mean, from beginning to end, it captured your attention. And I mean, you just knew things were not gonna get better. You know, they were gonna get worse before they got better. And you know, the thing I like is that the supporting cast became just as interesting as the protagonist. Everybody caught your attention. Everybody played a major role in the story and moved the story along. And by the end of the first season, you're wanting more. And, you know, your questions at the end are like, where is this going? What happened to the female Titan? You know, what happened in with the face at the end? You know, what's gonna happen next? And that's what draws you into the second season, because you're like, I want to see this. I want to. You know, this is gonna be an awesome anime. You know, it's gonna be in the history books as one of the best animes, and that's how you feel at the end. So overall, I gave the first season 8.2.
Ooh, boy, you is harsh with your scores. You don't play. It's hard. I gotta find out what your 10 is. But man, in true rating fashion, man, I can say that I honestly know why this was a highly rated anime, and it really kept me driven. I was really inspired to do it. I say honestly, like an 8.5 just comes to my head. There were some points in the anime where I just had to skip. Like it was skippable content. And anytime I gotta skip, I'm just like, you know, something bored me. And if something bored me, I can't give a full on 10. There's very few animes that can even get a full on 10 that I can just watch non-stop without skipping. But there were some moments where I was like, okay, we're in a bit of a lull. This could be skipped. Or sometimes I feel like episodes, there was one or two episodes where I feel like it really could have just been done in like 3 minutes. Like it could have just really been snapped down. I can't really remember off the top of my head. I know I mentioned it in one of the reaction videos where I just like, honestly, this video can be scrunched down to 5 minutes. I understand why they made it that long, you know, just to kind of just elaborate on things. But in all honesty, it feels like one of those filler episodes with a little bit of information about it, which is okay, which I do understand. But you know, when I'm watching something, I just want to be entertained, especially nowadays, or you know, I don't got a lot of time just to be watching things like that. I expected you to get the action like straight on. But anyway, man, season 1's over for me. I'm diving into season 2. I'm looking forward to it. You'll be seeing Big Jinx in probably a week or two when we recap on season 2, and eventually I'll get season 3, and then we'll be doing episodes for it, but season 4. But yeah, that's it for me, man. I appreciate everyone watching. If you haven't already, you're new to this channel, go ahead and leave us a like. Click that subscription button up below and click the bell so you'll be notified when every episode comes in. You'll be linked off to Big Jinx's channel too as well. Until next time, guys, catch you later. Peace out and be easy. Peace.
The game's over.